Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jorvik, and welcome to episode 2 of my short film reaction series where I find short films from upcoming directors and other filmmakers and just react and kind of, break them down from a filmmaking perspective. In honor of Deadpool and Wolverine coming out this week, as of filming this, of course, I will be reacting to the short film Logan the Wolf, which takes Wolverine and puts him in the Viking Age. Now, this short film did come out a couple months ago, but I just haven't watched it yet. I mean, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. It didn't really come on my radar that much until recently, and then I was like, oh, this would be perfect to react to. This also is kind of cool because I am a Norse pagan. I've mentioned that in a previous video on my my Viking talk kind of video essay that I did a few months ago. So I do feel like this film is right up my alley as someone who has been, kind of studying Norse mythology and the Viking Age the last couple years. So anyways, let's go ahead, get right into it.
I am wrath. I am chaos and balance. I am death and resurrection. I am Fenrir's fury.
I already like the cinematography, I'm going to be honest. He's doing a bind rune. That bind rune means wolf, by the way. Logan. The wolf. Ooh. Beautiful shots.
I've been waiting for you.
You should have run instead.
I don't run away from miserable creatures.
I've heard a lot about you. Stories are told about a ferocious war that butchers women and children, and even slaughtered 20 of Gunnar's men alone. Lies! Nothing more than fairy tales to scare little kids. Lord Ottar put a bounty on your head, and I don't give a shit what they say about you or what you've done.
The costume design so far is pretty good too, as well. I don't know if it's not that historically accurate, but ooh, I love that shot of the full moon in the back too.
Are you sure it's worth it?
Such a leader, man. It surely is.
Uh-oh. It's because Wolverine's short in the comics.
I leave one of you alive so you can warn your sons about those fairy tales.
Get him!
Ooh. Really good fight choreography. Uh-oh. Oh, that was sick. I like that. Oh.
so much for that. Take the body.
Sorry, I'm laughing because... Oh! Oh my gosh. Oh, he has metal claws. Interesting. Ooh, good healing effects too. Oh, dude, that sound design is gross in a good way.
What kind of demon are you?
I am Logan, the Wolf.
Kill him.
Oh. Ooh, some pretty good effects. Oh. Some gnarly kills. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the claws, though, I'm gonna be honest. They look too fake. I mean, it's a short film, it's whatever. They look better than X-Men Origins. Oh, they broke his claws off. Oh my God. Oh! Incredible fight sequence. Wow.
You freak.
Leave now and tell your kind about me. Tell your kind a new god will soon rule. Tell your kind a new era is upon them. Go now!
Jeez. Uh-oh, who's this? Is this supposed to be Sabretooth?
Impressive.
If you're here for the bounty, just look at them and see your end.
Very promising. I've been watching you. You have something unique. That brings my attention.
What do you want?
I want you to join me. Together we would be unstoppable.
No man walking these lands can slay me. What would I be doing with you?
You know, we're not so different, you and I. We share the same aversion and repugnance for those animals. If we gather...
I don't need you. Just go home while you still can.
Oh, he's Magneto.
just like you, a god among the commons. But instead, humans call us monsters. They fear us. They want us extinct. And trust me, they'll keep hunting us down and slaughter the ones we love until all our heads are onto their spikes. But we're about to change that.
Death isn't my concern, mortal.
Oh,
Last warning.
That's a shame. I thought you'd understand.
You're going to die like the rest of them.
Show me.
interesting. It's a really good effect with the claws. I wonder how they did that. So did he kill Magneto? Nope, he didn't. He did not. Alright, so my initial thoughts is that this is awesome. And I think that's been the general consensus from just the internet that I've seen people either react to this or talk about this film. From a filmmaking perspective, I think the fight scenes and the choreography is just outstanding, at least for a short film. I don't know what the budget of this short film is, but it easily could be several thousand dollars for sure. A thing that I like about the X-Men and just like the superhero kind of politics in general is that no matter what time period that they're in, there's always going to be fear, right? And when you think about here in this setting, right, the Viking age, lasted, between, was it like the 800s to like the 1100s, somewhere around there. But throughout the early days of history, especially in the new millennia, you still had a lot of pagans running around worshiping God. So it is interesting that Logan is not worshipped as a god. And I think a lot of it is because gods in flesh are terrifying to people, right? Historically speaking. I mean, if these people are Vikings, obviously we don't really have a time period, just a rough time period. So he does call him a demon, which I think is interesting. I don't think the term demon was really used not until the Renaissance, when hell was invented by the Catholics. But obviously that's just probably just due to writing. It's not that big of a deal. But if these people are supposed to be Vikings, they wouldn't believe in demons. They would believe in other malicious spirits within Norse mythology, maybe Surtur or the Jotun, whatever tickles your fancy, I guess. It is interesting at the beginning of this when he's doing his ritual here. I have it pulled up right here. So this is a bind rune, and this is actually the bind rune for wolf. I don't remember the name of the runes right off the top of my head, but that's what that is. Obviously Logan the wolf, and he's doing this ritualistic ceremony to the gods, it appears, specifically to Fenris, which is in Norse mythology. Fenris is a wolf who is the son of Loki. Very complicated in Norse mythology. Yes, Loki gave birth to a wolf. Fenris has showed up in the MCU. He was Hela's wolf in Thor Ragnarok, and I think he was named Fenris in that. I'm 100% sure. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they have like this bind rune here to just kind of reference that. Moving on here, I do like this costume design. I don't know if it's historically accurate, but obviously you have the furs, but I don't really care for historical accuracy when it comes to film. I know a lot of people do, but if it's a fantasy film, to me, it's not that big of a deal. That is pretty good makeup right here, with the burn scar. And let's just talk about this. I'm going to play this right here. I'm going to go up to where he starts fighting. Just the fight choreography in this is really, really good. And the whole special effects, I mean, the blood looks a little shoddy, but You see, like right there, you can definitely tell that was CGI blood, which, you know, is fine. It's whatever. But some of the effects with like the swords going through him, the spear going through him, that's pretty good shot right there. And also this shot right here, also pretty good. That's some pretty good work right there. I honestly can't tell if that's practical or CGI. Obviously the blood looks CGI, but that could be a practical blade. But other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, it is a pretty quick shot, so, you know, it being looking real or not is not that big of a deal. But let's talk about his claws. So I mentioned earlier that I don't think I'm a fan of the claws. And I know that kind of sounds dumb considering this is a Wolverine fan film, but if he is supposed to be in the Viking Age, or at least somewhere in the, you know, the early 10th century or whatever, how does he have metal claws? That's the whole thing, right? I think this would work better personally with the bone claws. If they went that route. I mean, I understand why they did the metal claws, obviously, but I think the bone claws would have worked better here, personally. But the effect is not that bad. I think the effect of it coming out of his other hand, I think, is crazy. Also, the healing effect here is also pretty good. And they even gave him a scar makeup. Yeah, this effect right here just, it just looks like it hurts. And I think that is a canon thing, at least in the films, that it does hurt Logan when he releases his claws. Let's look at this again. Like, just, it is a really good effect. I will give him that. Really good effect. There was another shot here where he stabs, yeah, like right here where he's fighting with the claw. Yeah, like this fight scene is great. Later on in this kind of second tier fight here where he's just ripping these guys to shred, like that guy gets beheaded, kind of cool. I think right here one of the other guys gets his like throat ripped open, which I also think is really cool. Right, I think it's right here. Yeah, like right here, like you can definitely tell fake CGI. But again, it happens so quickly that most people probably won't notice. But let's, I don't even know if I can show this on YouTube, but let's look at that right there. That is either some really, really good prosthetic makeup or really, really good CGI. I'm going with the prosthetic makeup. I know the blood obviously looks fake. This sort of looks real, but like now that I'm actually like really looking at it, this also could be CGI. It could be a mix. Could be a little bit of this was probably done practically, and then probably enhanced a little bit with CGI, which happens a lot. So not that big of a deal, but it's still a really gnarly shot for something that happens so quickly. Same thing here with the, I think it happens to this guy too. Yeah. Like, obviously, that's super CGI right there, but it still looks so good for it being, it just happens so quickly. So, again, you don't really notice it. So, let's talk about Magneto here. I think he is credited as, obviously, he is Magneto because he has the helmet and he can control metal. I'm pretty sure those swords are made out of steel. Well, did they have steel back then? That far back? I actually don't know. Iron for sure. Is iron magnetic? I think so, right? Either way, let's just talk about Magneto for a second. First of all, I kind of like this take of Magneto. I think this is why, like, I want to see them adapt 1602, Marvel 1602, into live action. Like, we kind of got it in What If. Season 2? We got it in. But it would be interesting to see more of these characters in live action. But it is interesting. I wonder what other mutants are out there. I don't know if they're ever going to continue this kind of like medieval X-Men they got going on. But it is interesting that Magneto is in this. I do feel like he kind of came out of nowhere. I think if maybe like there were other mutants around, like with him, maybe establishing the Brotherhood in some sort of way in this world, I think would have been interesting. But obviously it's a fan film, it's a short film, you know, they don't want to overcrowd it with a bunch of stuff. I think having Magneto, I think it would have been interesting if it was maybe like a version of Charles Xavier, or even better, a version of Cyclops, I think would been interesting. Or even like a version of Jean, I think would also have been interesting in this. Like having like, say, a Celtic like redhead woman who people call Morrigan, you know, like show up, but it's actually just Jean Grey. Like I think that would have been interesting personally. But this is an interesting look for Magneto. Let me go to where he puts his helmet on. That is kind of a cool shot. This definitely, what I love about this helmet definitely looks like a Halloween prop that they kind of painted up a little bit, which I've done that before. Not that big of a deal. It's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, that is an interesting look for Magneto. I like the glossed out eye and kind of like his whole mythos. I think his motivation of like, hey, I'm gathering other people that are like us, you know, we are gods among men. I mean, that's something that is a staple in a lot of different superhero genres and stories. I mean, even in my superhero universe, I have characters who believe this, that they are gods among men. And of course, that doesn't always work out for them, but it's kind of nice to see that this sort of mentality transcends media, really. I mean, there's always going to be these types of characters. I mean, there's people in our own world who think they're gods, so, you know, who am I to judge? There was another thing that I wanted to point out that I thought was really funny. I think it's when, so it's right around here. This guy right here, I think is really funny. Let's see if I can get a better shot of it. Hold on. Oh, it was right there. I barely missed it. Well, you can kind of barely see it. So this right here is actually not a Viking symbol. It's not even a Nordic symbol. This is called the I can't tell if that's the Vigvisir or the Aljeshimur. Either way, they are considered, if you like look up Viking tattoos or you look up like Viking stavs or imagery or whatever, this shows up primarily. Again, it's either the Aljeshimur or the Vigvisir. I'll actually put them in the edit so you can see what I'm talking about. So that actually, again, like I said, not a Viking symbol. It's not even an Old Norse symbol. This is actually an Icelandic Christian stav that was first used in the, I believe, 19th century, like in the 1800s, something like that. I don't really have an issue with this symbol. I just think it's really funny that people use this as like, oh, this is the tattoos that they had back then. We don't even have evidence that Vikings had tattoos, because obviously tattoos don't get preserved, at least unless they're mummified. But as far as we know, Vikings aren't mummified. So it is kind of funny to kind of see it here. I kind of figured at least one of them would have it. I'm nitpicking. It's not that big of a deal. But that symbol, I think, is pretty funny to see. And I caught it right away when it showed up. And again, it's there so quickly you don't even see it. Yeah, it's there so quickly you don't even see it. So it's not that big of a deal. I just thought it was really funny and I wanted to mention it. And then we cut to the end tag. Very bloody. We didn't see the fight. There's the helmet of Magneto. Looks like he was kind of tore up as well. And then, of course, we do like the X-Men The Last Stand type of thing where Magneto's like, oh, still alive. So that is pretty interesting. I wonder if they'll ever continue this. I mean, doing short films like this do take a long time, especially fan films when there's a lot of costumes involved, a lot of special effects involved, depending on the type of character that you're doing. So I am looking in the description. It says that this was shot in 5 days, which pretty impressive. I mean, considering the amount of fight scenes that was going on. So in 5 days is pretty impressive for that type of thing. And it was shot in France. So in the forest of, oh boy, I haven't taken French since high school. Fontainebleau. Fontainebleau? I'll put it here. I'm assuming that's in northern France, probably close to the Ardennes, but I don't know. I can just tell by the aesthetic and the look of the film. So yeah, and it says that everyone here was volunteers, which I think is cool. I mean, I'm one for the camp. Like, obviously, secure your bag. You know, if you're a filmmaker, you know this. A lot of times you're going to work for free, especially if you're new into the industry. But I'm one of those people that I don't really care about money. I just love the art of filmmaking, and if I get paid, I get paid. And if I don't, oh well. You know, maybe that's just a bad mentality to have, but I think that's kind of cool, you know, that these people very talented people worked on this film. I mean, the makeup artists, the actors. I thought all the actors were pretty great. Obviously, the cinematographer, really great. The stunts was really great. A lot of stunt performers in this. I mean, in the crew there's just a lot. There's a lot of people here, so that's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive that they were able to, you know, work with all these people, and all these people were pretty close and just passionate about this project. It's something that I think a lot of filmmakers need to find. They need to find those people who are passionate, because yes, there are great people out there who are great at what they do, but they only care about the money. You know, I've met plenty of those people who they won't even look at a project if it's not, you know, worth their time, or if it's worth anything, which again is fair. I understand that completely. You know, if you're a cinematographer, you know, you're an editor, you know, you're a colorist, you're camera op, whatever, you know, you want to make sure that you're getting paid for, you know, your services. Again, I get that. But all of these talented people, I mean, the sound mixing, the soundtrack, the visual effects, the editor, I mean, everything's just great for a short film. And again, a lot of these people, they obviously probably worked with each other before. But it's just nice to see that this is something that you can do when you have passionate people backing you up. And I've been fortunate to have to work with a lot of passionate people for the stuff that I've worked on. All right, and that is it for this video. Bottom line is, I think that is a great short film. I think it's probably one of the better fan films that I have seen. There's a lot of good Star Wars ones out there. There's some good Marvel and DC ones out there. So I'll find them and I'll react to them as well. I'm excited for the one I have queued up for next episode. It's another fan film, but I think it's going to be just a little bit different than this one. So stay tuned for that. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this type of content, if you like to see a filmmaker reacting to filmmaking-esque things, and just kind of breaking them down and just talking about it. But anyways, guys, my name is Jorvik. I'll see you in the next one.